Peace, love, good health, and black power. I got my main man with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I got my nephew with me.
The resident scholar.
The resident scholar, the intellectual one.
Yeah.
And remember, I had to call you up, man, because the other day I was in the gym and I thought about you after this happened.
Okay.
And I know this is one of your favorite subjects. So I go to this gym to take my kids to spa. So while I'm getting them ready to spa, I hear this lady ask one of my parents, "Hey, how many fights your kids fight? How long you been fighting this and that, this and that, and that?" And so she say, after he tell her everything, she go to the coach in the gym and say, "Nah, he is not gonna spar him. You trying to set my son up this and that, that." He say, so the coach in the gym say, "Nah, he gonna work with the girl." She say, "Yeah, he gonna work with the girl."
Yeah.
So now, while they working, now the dude is taller, bigger, older, and he trying to kill my little girl. Why he trying to kill her? My man there was there. Why he trying to kill the girl? She in the background, "Huh, that's right, kill that, that's right, baby, you better. Hey, it was so terrible that the dude, the coach in the gym said, "Man, you got, if you don't be quiet, I'm gonna put you out of here." And so, what I thought about is how are we going to get our young men ready for life if they always taking the easier way out. Now, she would rather for him to box a girl than to box a boy. And then, as we get older, now I gotta tell you another story.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
gotta tell you another story. This shit funny as well. I'm at home, me and my wife, and she telling me, "Hey, what's wrong with you? Why you so hard? You need to start crying a little bit more. Show the little boy." I say, "Man, ain't nobody." First of all, I wasn't raised like that, and she say, "Then you try to act like you rough. You the same dude to be here watching a movie and cry." I say, "I cry a movie, but I ain't gonna cry if nobody punch me in my face, no shit like
Right.
like I'm a, not like I'm a tough guy, but we just want to talk like that." So now this new thing is feminizing all the men. They trying to feminize all,
Hold on. Just for the record, because you was talking to Brother Man.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate this for our audience. So you telling me that the mother said, "No, my son is not fighting a boy."
Not fighting a boy. Matter of fact, she said, "You trying to set my son up. You want him to box a boy that can actually box?"
But she didn't say, "Can you get somebody who has the same experience?" She said he can fight her.
He can fight.
And he's bigger than her, older than her.
All that. But first of all, from a coach's point of view, man, ain't no parents coming in my gym running nothing. You either gonna do it my way or take this nigga wherever you going. Nah, you ain't running nothing here. Yeah. And she told Slim, "Nah, he not boxing him. He not boxing him. Matter of fact, if it don't have vagina, he's not boxing."
Do y'all have that like in rules and policy? Like,
I mean, each gym kind of go on their own rules. Most gyms are try to put people on the same level together.
okay.
People in most gyms. But for me, the reason I let the little girl box because I know we've been doing our homework. And what I know is if she box up, what I mean by box up, a little person, a little tougher, a little stronger, this and that, when she gets somebody on her level in a real fight, because now we getting off topic, but we still on topic. Man, it's all about the fight.
Right.
So if she have a hard day spine but go win a fight, man, don't nobody remember no spine sessions and none of that. Now people making spine with this new internet. people put the spawn session on it, doing all this stuff, and then they go to fight, lose the fight, it don't make a difference.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about that?
I think it's a war on black people. I think it's a war on black culture, and I think that the feminization of black boys or black men in general, not just black boys. They target black boys, but they trying to get all of us.
Right.
If you what's the boy name just kissed the boy on BET?
Lil Nas X.
Nas X.
Lil Nas X.
He just tongue kissed a man on BET Awards.
Yeah.
So
are you lying?
Nah, and they pushing Slim.
They tongue kissed.
And Champ, if you say something about him, hey Champ, you got problems.
So
who was he kissing?
One of his dancers. They was dancing. Then after the little
Yeah.
They
Like when the intermission, cause they finished. Yeah. Man, what you? And he intellectual. He don't even have TV in this house. Man, that's a whole nother subject. He got
so I think that we've been bombarded with the feminization.
Yeah.
Like in the music, in the culture, in TV, in the media, everything is about homosexuality. If you look at all of the movies we watch, all the TV shows, somehow, some way they're gonna interject homosexuality in there and the feminization of black men.
Feminization. And they keep promoting, man, it's so, why you won't show your emotions? And then, and so what I told my wife, I say, because, my wife cool, I ain't talking bad about her, but, I just think what's going around the culture, we kind of get with.
Right.
We trying to get with. Because I told her, I said, well, man, if somebody was to break in here, you wouldn't want me crying and showing mama, you would want me to be a man.
Right.
And even like, Champ, I don't know, when I used to work down GW.
Right.
And I used to run to work. I run through Rocky Pop, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I would be scared to death running to work. And the reason I'm saying is, could you imagine how much man that you would have to be to go to on a new frontier with no running water, no nothing, to sit out there in a tent, and kill something to make some food, and just to build America or to build these different nations, man, how much a man you gotta be, man. Hey, Champ, you
don't have no time for crying.
You ain't got time for crying. And then we not even talking about all the different type of animals you gotta kill to make sure. Like right now, we the top predator. Ain't nobody dealing with us. And what type of dude that, you just got to be a special type of dude to go kill an elephant. I ain't saying, but you just got to be.
Right, I get that.
You got to be mean.
So overall, we been dumbed down.
Right.
We been feminized. And women is being catapulted into leadership.
Yeah.
If you look at most black households,
Yeah.
the black woman is the man and the woman. The only time you the man in most black houses is in bed.
Can I please talk on, because again, talking about the gym, because I have a father bring his kid to the gym and say, man, I want to learn how to fight, but my wife don't want him to actually fight. And I'm like, champ, that's impossible.
Right.
And a couple dudes that came that I was kind of shocked because they athletes, ex-boxers,
Right.
you know what it takes to do this.
Right.
Like, man, I just want them, I think Mike Tyson said it best, man. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. Like, you can hit the bag and do everything, but until you actually get hit and be into this, you never know what you're going to do, champ.
Right.
So you might don't even fight, but you got to spar or something. You got to have some type of contact. There's no way you can get ready for a contact sport without contact.
So how do we combat this? Like, do we start with a conversation? Like, do we start like a movement? Because I know they got an organization called Straight Black Pride.
Man, that's new. I never heard of that.
They got another thing we talked about it last time that I discovered on YouTube called the Black Manosphere. And one thing I have to admit, I'm sorry, ladies, but I'm kind of steering more towards, not all the way.
You know, before you say this,
Yeah.
every time we especially with man. Every time Man get it, because Man, I don't know how hate it. I can't beat it. Everybody hate Man.
Okay, well, nah. Well, you know what? I think Man is 100%
everybody. So
but
before you say this, you gonna be if you side with Man, you gonna be hated too. Because all the people call me and be like, Neil, especially the women. Neil is right. Neil the only one on that show with sense.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I read this book by it's called Blowback by a dude named Chalmers Johnson. And it's about America. It's talking about the blowback was going to happen to America because of everything it did across the world, and that's going to be. It's going to come to a point. It's going to be a blowback for it, right? And one of the dudes was interviewing him, said, "Yeah, man, hey, man, you know, you said this and this that day, and now you changed." He said, "Well, I got new information.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to be right.
Right.
I
like that.
The foundation of reality is to consult and find out the truth.
Right.
They say the truth is a single point that the foolish have multiplied.
Right.
So I'm always trying to look to the truth. I ain't trying to be right. This is not. My daughter did. What's that when you be debate team and they trying to be right.
Right.
But I'm trying to know the truth.
Right.
And what I realized is what he said has a lot of validity because one, we're under the scope. You have to attack the black men, right? Mm-hmm. Another thing, we never. What I'll listen to some information and some historical documents that we never. The black community have always been a matriarchy. Mm. How can you be a patriarchy when you can let the slave master rape your wife? How can that be? How can we be how patriarchy is about power, leadership? So historically in America, we have a patriarchic system, right? Mm. And so what they're doing now is that black women are being, black women in the schools. They taken care of in the social service. They taken care of. We're homeless. They have all type of shelters. I work in the system that see all type of shelters. Mm. So in college they have access to education before we are, and we are targeted for prison. Targeted for in schools we targeted, and I've seen it. We targeted for what's that, ADHD and putting our children in all these different meds and saying our children. And so anyway, we are demonized as males, as black males in particular. So I see how right now, and then 80% of the households, 70 to 80% of the households, I know that's a 10% margin, but I'm going to use that margin. They say, some people say 80, some people say 76, whatever. But the households are females. Yeah. So there's no way we can expect masculine men coming from female households. And the system empowers the female because one, they're gonna put all the power in her hands. Power means the ability to act. They're gonna put it in her hands. Yeah. So they're gonna take your money and they're gonna say, you can see your son on Saturday and Sunday. Hmm. They're gonna tell you that after you gave him half of your check. And then the mom can say, look, I don't want you to see him today. Hmm. He going with me today. You can't do nothing. Yeah. And we go back to the system. Hey, Chad, they're going to
gotta see how man smiling. I done bring him over to the doctor. Hey, Chad, I done bring him over to the doctor side. We gonna be hated together.
But I'm not saying, what I'm saying is
I'm going to ask him, what book are you reading?
No, I'm going through the process now. I still think men have to we have to realize, one of the things we have to realize and tell our boys and tell other men around us, that we have to be responsible for our decisions.
I agree with that.
And the biggest decision we make, and we put it on the women, is now we have to be responsible of where we lie our seeds at, who we have sex with, because they're going to be, regardless, they're going to be the first, they're going to be raised. Once you give that woman that seed,
with that too.
The power is all hers. Mm. That's it. And especially if you're not married, the power is all hers. So I think that's something we have to teach our kids. And because the system is going to empower her. And you know what they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely? Is that this phrase? So that's what's happening, man. Okay. So that's some of what, so I see where he coming from. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Well, as a student in history, we got to always contextualize our struggle in Black America with white people. We got to always, like if you was on a plantation a bigger plantation, the slaves on the bigger plantation, they dressed better than the slaves on the smaller plantation. They ate better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in their mind, they ain't had no idea, I'm a slave. When they come around other slaves, they felt that they was better.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm saying that by association with white people. So white women have been oppressed by white men.
This is true. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right? Thousands of years.
Yeah.
In Greece, in Rome, in Britain, in France, the whole European history, the whole European paradigm is sexist and patriarchal and puts the woman down. So with Susan B. Anthony and the women's suffrage movement fighting against patriarchy, the white man, I got to keep pointing that out, the white man, because black women are in America in proximity to white women. They take up the woman's issue, right?
And that's my biggest problem is that
so they take up
historically they don't.
When
like,
we never oppressed them, we were
We
slaves.
ain't have nothing to oppress
Right.
them. Hold on.
So the women were oppressed.
Yeah.
And so
white
black women don't have no context.
Yeah.
So they anything for a woman, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, they with
This
it.
is jumping in it.
And they don't understand that the feminist movement is a part and parcel of white supremacy too.
Yes.
And they don't even get it.
And this is my thing. I always tell people the same thing. Black women in particular, like they always spouting this feminist. I was like, yo, no movement in America can you talk about without mentioning a woman. You can't name. Only white woman I can name in historical American history is Susie B. Anthony. Man, if you talk about the civil rights, you can talk about Rosa Parks, all them. Matter of fact, I had this little test. We was at work with the young dudes, and the dude was like, nah. I said, okay, brother, name me. I told the young dude, name a white person in history. He was like, man, I don't know. I said, name a Black Panther. I said, name a woman Black Panther and a man Black Panther. He said, Tupac mom.
Right.
Well, at least he knew.
He right.
He right though.
Right.
He right. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go throughout our history here and not mention women.
Right.
And then that's not a part of our reality, not here or in Africa.
Right.
So man, but women, black women, especially middle class, upper middle class black women, eat the pill. They eat the pill. They eat the pill all up, man. And so, you know, it's. But once again, you talk about it's a product of white supremacy. It's a product of the system that we in, and they in proximity to womanhood because a womanhood is a whole different reality from manhood. So yeah,
The feminist movement and the homosexual agenda in certain instances overlap each other. Because the women's movement is happy to see men become homosexual. They embrace that. They promote it. It's applauded.
It's a part. Every woman you know got a male gay friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they hang out with.
It's made in society is making it now that if you don't agree with that, they're making like you something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something wrong with your thinking, something wrong with your so we being shaped and molded where if you in the house and you say I don't agree with that or you take a principled position, all the women in your house gonna disagree with you.
Yeah.
And not only are they gonna disagree, they're gonna make like it's something wrong with you mentally and academically.
Man. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah. I think for me, a part of this movement, especially about sexuality, is super. It's a reality that was rooted in Westernism, which is Europe.
Right.
And it's Western reality or European reality right now is propagates materialism. So reality is shaped around things or because this whole thing is about who one wants to sleep with. Right? It's dudes, and then it's one thing about feminization, but it's dudes who sleep with men, and you see them, they on the streets, they thorough, they whatever. Yeah. But the thing is this feminization, and it's all about like who you have sex with. To me, who you have sex with is not who you are overall. If that makes sense. You know, to me, it's the attribute. What attributes do you carry? Are you intelligent? Do you care for your family? Do you do this? Do you do it? Now all these spiritual instead of the spiritual attributes, the things that represent God, now everything's about sex.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
know,
that should be a personal issue. Nobody should be, abused for whatever choices they want to make. But that's a personal issue, like who you want to deal with. But now it's becoming a thing that's celebrated, which is, to me, is connected to hedonism.
Let me ask
which
you a
is I
question.
do whatever I want to do.
Let me ask you a question. Who is, with the young people, in the young generation, who is one of the number one rappers that young people listen to?
I don't know, man.
NBA Youngboy.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
Okay.
NBA Youngboy.
Yeah,
You play
never-
basketball?
No, never broke again. That's what
Oh,
he is.
okay.
Guess what? Last week, NBA Youngboy put on some makeup, lipstick, everything. NBA Youngboy, he get locked up with guns probably once a month. The hardest rapper out. Go hard, he even killed 100,000 people in 2 songs. Right? Last week, NBA Youngboy put on some lipstick, some mascara, the whole thing, and said makeup just make him feel so alive or something like that. And I said,
Are you serious?
yes. So by NBA Youngboy doing that, what do you think that's gonna happen? He gonna legitimize all these young boys.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this seems like that. Now I'm going
NBA Youngboy
I'm
is
going
like,
to something that don't make no sense. This is
Yeah.
some conspiracy theory right here. But
Nah,
that
that's not
sound
conspiracy
like what the pants used to call. That sound like an operative. I'm starting to think these rappers are now operatives,
Okay.
meaning
Right.
that somebody is paying them
Okay.
to propagate a culture into this because I know this dude in military, and he had this thing about the army's like motto is to destroy the enemy so they no longer had the will to survive. You know, so they said half the battle is not all the shooting and killing. That's nothing. The major battle is the mind.
And so, in 1972, I know man know about this. When at first being gay was considered, you was considered sick.
Yep.
They changed in 1972.
mental health. It was
Mental health.
issue.
But the reason they changed it because during the 60s, and Henry Kissinger, the one pushed the movement, we were so strong, like whoever controlled the media control the narrative. So they always got, when you see like the movies, you see us getting sprayed down and bitten by dogs and getting whooped. But in reality, them dudes that come back from the military and they was fucking motherfuckers up. And motherfuckers don't know that.
Right.
They don't know that. And so they said, man, we got to put the drugs in the neighborhoods, the alcohol in the neighborhoods, and then we got to kind of make these jokers more friendly. These niggas fight us back.
Yeah.
Man.
This is by design.
I think- yeah,
and they
I think-
design stuff 30, 40.
And that's the biggest part that I had with black women. Like,
Right.
we know it's a supply, it's a plan against us, right?
Right.
So because we know it's a plot and a plan against us, we gonna combat it.
Right.
But the black woman, you could tell them that, and they're gonna be just like, they're gonna fall on deaf ears.
But let me ask you something.
Because they're looking at you as you know, we the unfortunate thing about Neil and Philly always talk about this. We look at each other under the guise of the system that we in. So the system we in is all about economics. That's why every day they put on who's the richest person and this and that like that is the value of a man is his financial resources. So they looking at you as, I got a master's degree. Nigga, what all this black power stuff, man? I don't see it. You broke as a joke. So they looking at the respect it, especially when black women are making money and have resources. They looking at you if the resources, you don't have the financial means, that they're not gonna have the same amount of respect. Or what you have to say is like void because of your financial situation?
Well, I disagree with you on that because I don't think black women listen to nobody. They'll say they
listen to the European man.
Right. They're gonna make up this imaginary rich man. If he do this, I'm gonna submit. He ain't gonna want you.
Yeah.
He don't even exist. He's a figment of your imagination. So what you
they
say,
see him, no?
it don't even exist for real. You gonna always be hard-hearted. You gonna always try to be a man.
Right.
You gonna always compete.
Right.
With you, not the European man. With you.
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Frances Cress Wilson said that with the European man, that's the only person she see as the man.
Yeah.
That's why they got that
because
call
he's fair. That makes
Dr.
sense.
Frances Cress Wilson said when she see the white man, call him the man. That's the man. That's why he call the police the man.
Yeah.
And he said, hey baby.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to my crib. You ain't a man. You ain't no man.
I mean, it makes sense because the man is who pay him. Yeah, that makes sense.
They said when the Migo came, they said he ain't no man either. He Chico. They Chico and the man. Chico and the white man. The man is white now. We act like.
Oh man. Hey, but so you asked a question earlier. I think just start a conversation the best thing we can do. I think what we're doing there is because man, the results of the way stuff working out, man. People dying like
it's like a script. With the homosexual agenda, it's a script. Like anything you say, the response is gonna be scripted, right? It's a feminist response too that's scripted.
Mm.
So when we come, what they call it, toxic masculinity.
Right.
It's like something wrong with you for being a man.
Yeah.
So every so often, these white liberals will come up with some definitions and throw them out there. And to discombobulate our community and make us think something wrong with us.
Yeah.
And we keep doing these self-evaluations. But we got to be revolutionary and know they're our enemy.
Yeah.
They want us to die. They want our children to be locked up. We just got to think like that.
Yeah.
And don't care about how people feel.
Right.
We got to function like that.
We got to function like
that. Dr. John Henry Clark said that in the 40s, he said the Japanese, after World War II, when they was locked up, the Japanese, he said the Japanese came up in with the camera and kept on speaking high. They got a camera taking pictures high. Keep on speaking high. And took pictures of everything and went back to and now they're one of the number one technologically nations on the earth.
Right.
And John Henry Clark said they ain't say black power. They ain't say black and beautiful. They just went to work. Yeah, he said we got to do the same thing. We ain't got to chant and got we just got to go to work. We know what we face with. We know what's going on, and we know how we can confront it. Yeah. We got to take our house back. We got to stop negotiating with these women. When are you the king? When you dead? When is you the king to exercise power? When?
When?
Yes. When you die. Here lies the king.
Here lies the king.
Man, I mean,
I had the funeral. They told me, man, he was the king. He was the man.
When do you exercise your kingship while you're alive? Never. Yeah. Anything you say, she's going to oppose. I don't agree with that. Goddamn, roll with me on something. Everything I say, you got to bring the alternative view.
Yeah.
Oh, I was listening to that now. Here goes something controversial for you.
Okay.
I was listening to dudes talking about this same stuff about black women, this and that. So he said, I'm a Pan-Africanist. I know this going. He said, why? He said, you young people, you young men, why are you going to keep going under this? He said, just be happy. He said, so go get a Latino woman. He said, go get a middle. He said, because the children will still be black. But he said, you should not have to continually fight in your own household. So his whole thing is like, yo,
black women gonna get you off this.
Hey, man, the thing, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not saying I agree, please don't jump on me for this one, but I remember this one dude said something was interesting, especially in hindsight of what we talking about now. I work at the airport, and these women were getting on him. He was a country dude. He had a white wife, a white lady. And they were like, you got a white woman, this and that, you don't like your mother, this and that. He said, all I know, he said, when I had a black lady, every time I come home, where's the money? What's the this? What's the that? What's the this? He said, now, when I come home, she said, honey, how was your day? Do you mean? man, I thought that was deep. And the black woman was like, oh, blah, 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 this and that. Man, he hit them joints. He said, all I know. He said, honey, how was your day? He said, I come home, where the money? Give me the check, blah, blah. He said, the white man, I thought that was hilarious. Man. So, I'm not saying.
You are.
Hey,
you are saying that.
No, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
No, not the white woman.
Make you happy.
No. To get with the person who's not, as a man, to get as a black man, like you do not, because I saw something, Mrs. Van Dam was talking to these, what's her name, that Van Dam?
I don't know.
With the psychiatrist lady always be talking, the short hair. Ivana Van Zet. So she was talking to these black men who didn't want to date black women. And she was talking to the dude, he said, yeah, I just know that I always had a problem with them. They always saying something about me, this and that. I just didn't seem like, they seemed to be very, what's the word when you're aggressive? Very aggressive. And she said, what do your mother say? He said, my mother said that I don't have to take no stuff in this. He said, that's funny. That's funny to me because you should be standing in that. And the other dude looked like, what the hell? Like, I gotta stand and take that? And so somebody was commenting and said, man, that don't make no sense, man. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that, man, if you cannot find, I'm just telling young men in particular, man, because it's of great importance because our families are being, the single family parents, single family homes are known to be destructive to the community, period. And so get with somebody who's going to have a plan and get somebody who's going to be willing to be a part of your plan and move
black
forward.
Woman, right?
Whoever.
You're not an advocate for black men being with black women?
Of course I am.
Of
course I am. All I did was black women. I got a black child from a black woman. But what I'm saying is, what you gonna do?
You don't think that a black woman can make a black man happy in 2021? That's what you saying?
I'm not saying that.
You said get who gonna make you happy. And
get with who gonna...
Right, but you basically saying get with another race.
Nah, no, I'm not saying...
You ain't ruling it out?
I'm not ruling it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not ruling it out. Yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling it out.
So you like what they call, Dr. Umar Johnson said, you talking black but sleeping white.
Nah.
So like, what's his name? Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte in the 60s talk all that black stuff and go home to a white woman.
Hey, I haven't done it yet. So, you know.
I don't believe you should talk black and sleep white. Yeah. No matter, I think the black woman messed up. I think the black woman needs.
But hold on, it's more than just a black American woman. Like, it's black women are all over diaspora.
Right. They messed
First
up.
of all,
black women messed up.
Not all.
All black women messed up. We've been under colonialism. And
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, just like you just saw, my people's is from Ghana. My father.
Okay. One
experience Ghanaian women from the continent are very, and I don't even want to say that the word submissive, but they're very like, I can't explain it. Like they take care of everything.
I agree with you.
They don't have that like
no more than that.
Like just back and forth.
They got all that. Yeah. They got all that.
Once they get hit.
That's why you think brothers, they got a whole contingent of brothers going to Brazil.
Right. I was talking to this brother, he from Egypt. He from Egypt. He black though. And we was talking about black women. And he said, man, my wife do the same thing. She from Egypt, black woman. She do all that. So we've been under European colonialism for 500 years, no matter where we at on the earth. Black people been suffering under white people, no matter where we at. So we got the white man name. No matter where we at on earth. If you go to Haiti, they got a white man name. It's just a French white man. You go to Brazil, they got a white man name. It's just a Portuguese white man. You go to Puerto Rico, they got a white man name. It's just a Spanish white man. You go to Jamaica, they got a white man named a British white man. But all of them under the white man.
Yeah, not in Africa.
Malcolm said we ain't got no concept of that. So when you talk to the Jamaican, they hate the British. If you talk to the Haitian, they hate the French. They ain't got no all these are the same people. They Europeans. Yeah. But you ain't got no context that they're the same. Their behavior is the same. everywhere on earth. You can't name one place, 196,940,000 square miles of the earth that the white man ain't go. And when he came, death, domination, and destruction didn't follow. Nowhere on earth.
Man, what's your rebuttal, champ?
I don't got no rebuttal. I ain't trying to rebuttal.
I thought you said Africa it's not like that.
No, I'm just talking about in certain parts of Africa. Africans have their full name.
Where?
Yeah. Ghana,
Where?
Senegal, Niger. I've talked to people from Niger that have their full name. Now, but what I can, but at all these places,
in Africa,
Ethiopians have their full name.
In America, we got your mother could name you with the first name. Your mother named you that. She came. Your mother and father, your parents, they came up whatever they wanted to name you. They named, but the last name is a slave name. They had no say so with that, right? So in America, black people got the white man's last name.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa, they got the white man's first name.
No.
What's Mandela's first name?
That's
What's Mandela's first name?
Hold on, you talking about 54 countries. You talking about, you don't go to Mandela.
What's Mugabe's first name? Robert.
You
What's Komo's first name? Joshua.
Okay, so what's the king of Ethiopia's full name? It don't have no white man name in it.
Haile Selassie.
Right. Where's the white man name in there?
Okay, I can concede to that.
Yeah, and they the only one.
But the majority in Africa, they got the white man's name.
Man.
Think about it. Think about all the African presidents. What's their first name?
Well, the African presidents, that's a whole different thing.
Well, we don't know no commoners. Ain't like I say, Mook and Ray, don't know them.
Well, one, I agree with you that everywhere in Africa has been touched by colonialism, okay. And even though Ethiopia, their whole claim to fame is they never been colonized, but every place in Africa, not only that, Africa have, their presidents are satellites, their governments are satellites for the European powers. Okay. So that's,
I agree with
you. That's wretched of the earth, France phenomenon. So I do agree with that. Yeah.
What is your belief? I want to know what you believe in. I'm a man all over the place. My man, the white man ain't no good. Then some of the white people, all right, the black woman is the queen, man, everything, but you can get you a white woman.
Nah, I mean, everything, man, we live in a world, the world is complex, but we live in a world that we try to make it between black and white. Like, so that's like, health is complex. It's billions of things that's happening within each cell in our body right now. Like our telomeres that are connected to our some parts of our nerves. Like these are the things that when they get old, that's how we age. Like we're constantly involved. It's a complex system. So I try not to be black and white because that's not how the world works.
You can't be white.
I'm just talking about black and white.
You're not trying not to be black and white.
No, I'm just trying not to be.
You can't be white.
Like we always act like it's this way or that way, but it's a lot of in between. And so, it's what they call.
So it's a black way and a white way.
No, I'm talking about there's complexities in everything, man.
Okay.
Everything is not one way.
Can you be all for black people though?
Of course.
Like buy black when you go to a store, get stuff from black.
You can try.
Right.
You can try. Yeah.
Go send your children to a black school. Black teachers.
You can try.
Give them the history. Because we know we the only people on earth don't know nothing about our history.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that they try to get these kids their history.
I think that because when I was in prison, I didn't even know we were slaves. I didn't even know that black people in America were slaves and came from Africa. I didn't know that's how we got here. I thought there was some Africans. Now I knew about slavery and all of that, but I didn't know that was us.
Right.
I thought some Africans got kidnapped and brought to.
So you didn't connect with
I didn't have
yourself.
no concept of me being a descendant of them. So when I got locked up and I began to read, I saw the Malcolm X movie, Denzel Washington. That was like the first 1992 that Joe woke me up. I'm like, I didn't know we were slaves. I didn't know we had slave names. I didn't know. Man, I'm like, as I watched that movie, all I was thinking about is all the black people I done robbed, did stuff to, pistol whip, all that stuff. I'm like, man, you straight Uncle Tom.
Right.
And that changed my whole process of thinking. And so because that changed my process of thinking, I know that is a void with these youngins because they don't know who they are.
Right.
And because you don't know who you are, you act other than yourself.
Man. On point.
Yeah. So to me, that gave me the confidence, the swag. Like, if I talk about our history, I talk with confidence.
Right.
Like, I know we was the first people on earth. Like, I know that we can do anything because we started everything. Everything come from us.
Right.
So then that means skies is the limit for me as an individual and us as a people.
Right.
Yeah, but we need to start implementing that in. I think we need to implement that in our reality as far as, and I know, Tony, you know, I always talk about it. Like, we need to create engineers. A buddy of mine went to a black school. He was an engineer program. He said, man, the professor, he went to HBCU, said, where are my people who can create the first aircraft to do this? Where are my people who's going to be the ones who going to make the gun? Who's going to be he was challenging his students, like, not just to be a consumer, but
right.
What are you going to create for the black nation? And that's what we can talk, we can do this, we can have good sound bites, but the reality is we need engineers. We need doctors. We need doctors who care about our health. We need researchers. We need people who research into how we work as humanity. We need all that.
Dr. John Henry Clark said we need somebody to learn how to make bullets.
Yeah.
He said we ain't got a bullet manufacturer.
Yeah.
He said we need somebody to study bullets. That's all they study.
And you know, speaking about Africa, all Europe is taking Africa. I mean, Europe is going to Africa for the resources they need to create stuff.
Yeah.
And so we see on the same situation that we just consumers and going out buying everything and not making nothing. So that to me is a challenge, man. Like if we know that we created Egypt and we know Egypt is in Africa and they still don't know how they build them bricks, that means that mathematically we were some great people. So we need to study math. We need to get into that. Like, we ain't sending nothing in space. We ain't, like you said, we don't even make a bullet.
Yeah.
I know jokers who can make a bullet. We don't even know how to make a bullet. Most people don't know how to. We don't have no. Ghana do have a car, but we got to create cars. That's how Japan. You said Japan technology. Now look what they did with technology. Now everybody buying Japanese cars because you know why? Because they run. Honda and Toyota. They created a lot of resources for technology, Sony systems, and that's how they created their wealth. And now they trying to break away from it because they was under the leadership of America because America beat them in the war. But now they saying, man, we want our own Navy, we want our own military now. Y'all can kind of back off. But they got the resources they created, they had the knowledge to do that. Right. So I think that's where we need to lie. We need that information about ourselves, but it had to be, manifested. Because, the intrinsic value of knowledge is that you act upon it. Imam Ali said that. So we talk and we don't act upon our knowledge. Like it's a waste. Like I listened to Fidel Castro, man. The dude interviewing Fidel Castro, the white dude. I forgot the dude. He did a movie on Ali. He was like, yeah, man. He was pressing Fidel Castro. I was like, you got wars on crime, humanity, and this and that. He said, Fidel Castro said, man, hold up, man. He said, Slim, you a theorist. I went to war. I was in the bush. I'm also intellectual and a person who act. I'm not just a theoretician to sit and talk about things that's lofty. Mm-hmm. Like we went and took this person out of our government. We got our people back from the Western colonialism, and so that's what I did. Right. You think about your people. You sit up here making movies and talking about what I did, man. Y'all jokers, black people still can't eat over in your country. Mm. So he was like, man, nah, all that theory, man. I'm a intellectual and a person who acts. I put the two together. I merge the two together. So that's where I think we need to be.
I agree with that.
Okay. We finished, champ. We got anything else you want to say?
Vote for Trayon White if you're watching Tony.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to this little boy Quincy Williams. He won the Pan Am Games.
Oh yeah.
And all the little kids that went down to Louisiana and won the Nationals. Shout out to y'all. And then last but not least, I want to give my man Neil a shout out. He got into a fight.
Oh,
he got into it at work. He got into it at work with a young dude at work. He hit me up. He say, Tone, man, I need the gloves, man. I'm gonna show this young boy. Got a second round KO. So I
You knocked him out.
beat him to the body. So I want to congratulate my man there.
That's between me, man.
That's between y'all. You can't tell me. Man, tell you. Look, I've been instigating. Man, tell you. Oh, man. Hey, stand on the corner. Look, I'll be, man, when that nigga show up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. As soon as he come up, hey, man, he said, what you say you going to do again to him? Man, I ain't made me in the town. Man, I want to see.
Man, I want to see that. Hey, look, get your little coke, sit on the joint.
Sit on the trash can, laughing like, oh, no, man. Yeah, I'm an instigator, Chad. Yeah, I'm going to instigate.
Man, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Always give God the glory, man.
Man,
I want to thank you for coming, man. This show always be so good when you are here, man.
Yeah. Resident scholar.
Man, we're going to try to get one.
I'm proud of you.
Man, he changed. Hey, Chad, he called me on the telephone, Chad. He was like, man, I've been doing my research. I think my man is right.
Oh, no, man.
I'm going to clean it up because he was like, man, these bitches, I'm tired, but he